Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, the VFX sucked major poo. And a new report comes direct from some of these VFX artists where they come out anonymously and state, yeah, shortcuts were taken, actually. The film's CGI quality control measures were subpar. So this is a big report from The Vulture. Honestly, I equate it to human greed. And we've heard all of this before with Marvel. And it's becoming more and more prevalent and less surprising. Especially when you just watch the movie. I mean, this thing especially. Fucking hell, what was this? Goodness me. So this is an interesting report. I love it when sort of media websites release articles like this, because you start to really go, oh, okay, finally people aren't in Disney's pockets. Fantastic, finally. So over President's Day's weekend, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania stung with unexpected venom at the box office, surpassing financial expectations. That's actually not true. This they kept lowering it until the film was released. It was actually supposed to hit about $280 million. So that's not actually true. So as much as they say shill media and stuff, well, they're dropping, you know, the revealing that they're not in Disney's pocket. Still kind of, or at least incorrect. So it's not done very well. Now, arguably more shocking though, the $200 million Paul Rudd, Evangeline Lilly two-hander managed to put all those butts in the seats despite emerging from a hive of some of the most negative buzz ever generated by a Marvel movie studio's property. And this is a carryover from Marvel's Phase 4. People are sick of Phase 4, and this is the start of Phase 5. There's nothing to distinguish it from anything. So that's where the negative buzz comes from, as well as the fact that it was just a crap film. Now, Quantumania stands as one of the just 2 titles in the 31-movie MCU canon to rank rotten on Rotten Tomatoes and a B cinema score, which is very rare. Very, very, very rare. So, a lot of reviewers fault Quantumania for omitting the low-key breeziness that distinguished the first 2 Ant-Man installments. Critics hauled out their heaviest with respect to the movie's CGI. A lot of it. Incoherent dump of a movie. Well, incoherent effects dump. Incoherent dump of a movie would be about right as well. Surreally designed yet gloppy looking orange landscape. This isn't world building. It's more like world barfing. It was real bad. The effects were shit. If you've seen the film, even if you watched the trailer, you'd know the effects were crap. And they were finished. The visual effects in the trailer were finished. Because that's what we got in the movie. Nothing seems to match. If you told me that the actors had been shot before the filmmakers decided what they would be looking at or interacting with, I believe you. That is about right. Well, here we have it. Here we have it. So it's not only critics that felt the CGI was crap. Some of the very VFX technicians and artists who created those sequences, who spoke with Vulture on condition of anonymity for fear of professional retaliation, agree that the film's CGI quality control measures were subpar. So even the people that worked on it were like, yeah, it's shit. 2 of the 3 people we interviewed admitted that shortcuts were taken and said critical resources were diverted away to Black Panther Wakanda Forever. How? Because that film had shit CGI as well. The follow-up to 2018's Black Panther, which was in post-production around the same time as Quantumania, several of the same effects houses worked on both films, creating competition for the highly skilled VFX workers. And yet both instances of their work looks like garbage. So here we have it. This is damning report. So like previous criticism levelled at Marvel by effects techs tired of being pixel fucked and pursuing unionization, these workers say the project was severely understaffed while facing an unrealistically short deadline. Well, we know that, ladies and gents, because they were filming, reshooting the end in January. In January they were reshooting the end. So no wonder the deadline was so crap. Now the upshot, a grueling slog during which filmmakers and studio executives nitpicked and revised vast swathes of Quantumania without budgeting enough time to implement the changes, forcing VFX workers to toil as many as 80 hours per week. That is hard. I used to do a 72-hour working week, and yet that was difficult. So this was like a second wave of what happened with James Cameron on Titanic, where the compositors were basically taking naps under their desks because there wasn't enough time between shifts to go back home, then come back, one of the techs said. Now, the entirety of the industry has been touched by Marvel permanently scared, and that's what's causing the most burnout. Isn't it funny how Marvel being scared of, bad VFX and bad shots has led them to have bad VFX and bad shots? So funny. Jin is a visual effects technician who has worked on more than half a dozen Marvel movies and series, and says many of his experiences working for Hollywood's most reliable blockbuster factory have been positive. The effects house that employed him worked on post-production of Quantumania and Black Panther Wakanda Forever, the latter of which he says Marvel prioritised over the former. Interesting. So this is about Black Panther being prioritised over Quantumania. In terms of priority, Wakanda Forever was definitely at the top of the list. All the money went to that. All the best resources went to that. It's understandable given the context with Chadwick. That's not understandable at all. Chadwick died. So what? It's tragic, alright? William Hurt's died. He's dead. He's gone. Guy who played General Ross, he's dead. You've literally just recast him. I say William Hurt, I want to say John Hurt as well. I'm completely wrong on both, maybe. Anyway, it doesn't matter. For Ant-Man, there were a lot of editorial changes happening towards the latter third and fourth of the project that were just too late. There's a point of no return, why certain things were changed, why certain notes were nitpicked longer than they should have been. That's on Marvel, but it definitely did cause a lot of tension, turmoil, and weight on everybody at the company, which has obviously been redacted. It's so bad. Unfortunately, it's noticeable that there were shortcuts. Certain things were used to cover up incomplete work. Certain editorial cuts were made to not show as much action or effects as there could have been. Likely because there wasn't enough time to render everything. Fucking hell. There was a lot of shortening and rolling of shots. Rolling is when you don't shorten or lengthen a shot, you just move it a few frames in the cut. It really did feel like certain scenes were trimmed to otherwise altered to either save money, time, or cover up the inability to get it done. God damn. Now the question is always, why didn't you push back? And they say, you don't want to do anything that's going to jeopardize your livelihood in the slightest. Part of that means when an executive decision comes down the line that just says, this is what we're going to do, you just assume you don't have the power to say anything against it. You can't be like, well, that's kind of shitty. Shouldn't we do something better? Because that will never happen. So funny. The money's there. Why is it not coming down? Marvel spending a bit more money to pay more VFX people wouldn't make that much of a difference for the executives all the way at the top. But if it comes down to them not being comfortable with their bank numbers and us working until burnout, we lose out every time. They've just absolutely ripped this apart. Absolutely ripped this apart. Just utterly disgraceful. So Ted, a veteran photogrammetry tech, who's worked on several mega-budget superhero movies and streaming series. He decries overall working conditions in the VFX industry, which involve a lot of unpaid overtime, unrealistic deadlines, but he's no major qualms with the Quantumania production. A lot of this stuff they're not going to be able to say, like, let's get real here. So funny. Like, when are they, like, honestly, when are they just going to learn? Just stop it, man. You're... Shortcuts were taken. Shortcuts were taken. And quality control measures were subpar. No shit. You only had to look at MODOK's dumb, stupid baby face to notice that. Awful. Awful, awful, awful. And they think this is gonna save them. Oh God. Stop it. Let me know what you think of this down below in the comment section. If you're new here, please do hit subscribe. Turn the bell notifications on to all. Would love to have you here more often. Give this video a like. And please do share it because YouTube hates this channel at the moment. And any channel similar to this. So help me out and help your other fellow good creators that you like out. Cheers guys. Share this. Take care.